Welcome to solverfy.
All right, so we are looking at a couple of different things, asking if they've got objects of symmetry. The first we're looking at is a circular clock face. Now, the circular part itself obviously will have an axis of symmetry. However, with the circular clock face, you have to consider that there's also the numbers on each side. And therefore, since the numbers are different, there's going to be no axis of symmetry. There's no way you can cut this in any way so that it's going to be symmetrical about both sides. All right, the next is going to be a football. Now, I'm assuming this means an American football, but it will work equally well as a soccer ball because both do have a plane of symmetry. All right, so for part C, we're asking about a dime. Now, again, since it's circular, you would think that there's a good chance this does have an axis of symmetry. But especially with the dime, or I'm assuming an American dime, obviously you've got the picture or the face on the front of it. So when you cut that in half, both sides are going to be asymmetric no matter how you cut it, so that does not have an angle of symmetry. Next is going to be a brick. Now, obviously, this is probably going to have multiple angles of symmetry, actually. Assuming it's just a rectangular brick, you can probably cut it in 2 to 3, maybe even 4 potential ways. So a brick, yes. All right, so part E, we're talking about a hammer. Now, this actually does have an angle of symmetry. So what you'd think is, imagine you're holding the hammer. With the head of the hammer pointed up, you're holding it by the bottom, and you're holding it straight out in front of you, with the part you use to hit the nail facing away from you. If you cut a line directly through it like that, you'd form an axis of symmetry. So this is going to be yes. Then lastly, F is going to be a spring. Now this one, again, if you stack the spring just straight up and down and you cut through it completely, you'd see that you can kind of rotate those around so that they'll be symmetrical about both sides. So a spring does have an axis of symmetry.